part of me identified with Ray. Part of me still does, but more so in the past, I was quite
the virgin part.
Yes.
I read the scene many times, and then I read it with the director also, and then we kind of decided eventually, but it feels like the person listening or the person who wants advice or something, feels disappointed. You just work.
Oh, that's all you do?
You just do the work. Yeah, you
don't like go around the airport asking people for change? Like,
yeah,
to be awkward?
or like
no,
live.
I've been awkward in the past, like. I'm in no position to give any messages. Okay. I've got to figure out my own life first.
He is the younger generation.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Aditi and you are watching me on ETimes. Today I have a bunch of beautifully, incredibly talented and beautiful personalities joining me who are bringing a significant change in storytelling, be it by acting, directing, creating or by lending their voices. So Rahul, Jim and Vihan, a huge welcome to ETimes and we are so happy to have you joining with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Here.
So, as the show's name suggests, and being super honest here, I have myself been very eternally confused and eager for love. I mean, and now when I look at Ray, it sort of feels like I'm looking at my mirror image and calling me out every now and then. So, Vihan, on that note, I want to know what made you say an absolute yes for the show and how much of your personal experiences have helped you breathe life into him.
I got the audition sides and I said, I need to meet the guy who's written this. If I do it, I don't do it, that doesn't matter. I just read it and I was like, this is something very unique. I've never read anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. An awkward leading character who doesn't know what he's doing and he's got this crazy voice in his head telling him to do crazy things. Exactly. It was just a unique concept. And luckily I got a chance to audition and then talk to Rahul and call back and actually do the role. So that way I'm very grateful for it. And I just think it was, as you said, very unique to begin with. And part of me identified with Ray. Part of me still does, but more so in the past, I was quite
the virgin part.
Yes, but I used to be a little bit of an awkward kind of guy, not knowing what to say, over-explaining everything, talking too much, like right now, stuff like that.
Jim, more than you being an imaginary friend, you were the exact inner voice that I have. So, needless to say.
Oh my God.
Exactly. I mean, the self-deprecation and everything that you were talking.
I'm so sorry.
So, needless to say, you brought in the perfect authenticity and depth in the moment. So, how did it feel to get inside the wizard's headspace?
How many episodes have you seen at this point?
The first 4.
The first 4, okay. Because I don't want to give things too much away, so I'll only then discuss the first half of it. I kind of saw it like if you want to talk about it Freudian-wise, then the id and the superego. If you want to talk about it, Tom and Jerry-wise, then it's the angel and the devil on the shoulder,
Exactly.
And the fact of the matter is your internal voice does not sound different if the angel is speaking or the devil is speaking. The point of it is they sound the same.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you eventually know which one it is? How do you choose, And so the fun for me was coming in and sometimes, being chaotic and leading him in certain directions, or being the initiator of an idea that once he's finally consumed by that idea, having moved on. The thought has moved on to another thing. But now the person is consumed by this. Oh my God, this place is too fancy. Oh my God, did I wear the wrong thing? Oh my God. We both wore fucking colorful shoes. What's going on? Or whatever. And by then the voice has moved on. By then the voice is like, what shall we get to drink? And that's the truth of how our brain is going. It's the monkey mind, it's leaping from branch to branch to branch to branch to branch. And I hope the show eventually makes it clear, or I hope the show eventually achieves this idea that it's not necessarily about controlling it. It's just about what parts of it you listen to.
True. Exactly.
You can't control it.
Yeah.
You can't control your thoughts as much as you can control your external circumstances.
True.
They are there. They are a product of your environment and your genetic code and they started before you were 4 and you have no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
But you can start to decide what you listen to and what you follow and what you go with.
You know, Rahul, it's so refreshing to see how beautifully you have crafted these characters and the dynamics they share with each other. So, I want to know, what were your priorities when you were creating the show? Focus on the characters and their worldview, or focus primarily on the storytelling?
I think that both of those things are actually the same thing to me. I feel like characters make stories, stories make characters. I think Ray was obviously the centerpiece of all of this, and his voice was then revolving around him, or rather within him. And then beyond that, it was about having storylines and then having characters that are fleshed out. I think that was very important. There was, I generally am not in favor of characters, even if they're small ones, that tend to be cardboard characters, where there's like a bit 2D. So I think everyone has a purpose. Everyone is doing something.
Well, my character isn't fleshed out.
Your character is not literally fleshed out, yes. But he's perhaps the most fleshed out character in the show. It's Ray. Yeah, it's Ray. Both are equally important. Like, it's characters and storyline together.
Another interesting element in the story were the uncomfortable situations Ray always found himself in. So while scripting, was it challenging for you to not get too over the top or over exaggerate those situations?
No, I didn't. I never felt like it would go over the top. I felt like a lot of the time Ray is reacting naturally. And I think that throughout the show, we try to maintain a sense of like realism. It's not like a slapstick comedy. It's not like the things that happen are real things, and often people react in a real manner. And I think that life in general is actually quite funny. There's a lot of things that just happen in your daily life that are humorous, that you sort of just let pass by because they're just moments. And I think it was about noticing those moments and then writing them down. I have a note on my phone where I just write down awkward things that happens to me.
Okay.
And it's very long.
I love giving whatever, when people ask, even about acting or whatever, and they're like, so what is the thing? How did you come to this eventually get there or whatever? And I'll be like, I read the scene many times, and then I read it with the director also, and then we kind of decided eventually how to play the scene, and we played around with that and all of this kind of stuff. And it seems like the person listening is, I'm not talking about you at all, huh? I'm honestly not talking about you. But it feels like the person listening or the person who wants advice or something, feels disappointed that it's just, you just work.
Oh, that's all you do?
You just do the work. Yeah, you just
don't like go around the airport asking people for change. Like,
yeah,
to be awkward.
or like
No,
live.
I've been awkward in the past, like.
So, Vihan, another hard-hitting and a very real aspect about Ray is how he dealt with self-love and acceptance. I mean, the self-deprecation and coming out of that comfort zone and all those. So do you resonate with those emotions too? And in today's world, especially in the virtual dating culture and social media, is there any message you'd like to give to the younger generation?
I'm in no position to give any messages.
Okay.
I got to figure out my own life first.
He is the younger generation.
Yeah. And that being said, yeah, I do relate a lot to Ray. I think a lot of people do, no matter their age, where they are in life. I think a lot of people, almost everyone can relate. And I think it's become a little bit more acceptable, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past couple of years to admit you're not feeling the best, or you're feeling awkward, or you're feeling these kind of things.
Exactly.
Because before, like the narrative was about like confidence and stuff like that. But like I think with a lot of there's now a lot of discussions going around about just anxiety and like, stuff you're feeling. And now that thankfully there's a huge dialogue on mental health and all that stuff. So I think, we're talking about very cool, not very cool, very true human emotions.
Real.
Very real human emotions. And this is just one of them.
So, you've been in the industry for quite some time now with some great projects matching your sensibilities. So, it's true that every actor takes time to settle in their career and make the choices that are best suited to their talent. So, Vihan, what's your approach to building your career and enhance your stardom?
If I knew that, I'd be so much more calm. It's just a matter of like, I think auditioning and seeing what, if you connect with the material is number one. Like if you read something, you're like, yes, that sounds like an amazing story. I connect to it. I feel like I can do something there. And that was my approach with Eternally. I saw the script and I was like, this is great. I want to do it. I definitely want to do it. And thankfully I could. At the start, I think it's very much like you just searching for work and then people either saying yes or no to you.
Yeah.
And later on, as you go along, I guess you can be a bit more
You get to choose.
fun and choosy.
Yeah.
But it only for me was always a hard yes, no matter who. And it just so happened that the producers were so amazing and like a excellent. I have been wanting to work with them for the longest time. So everything just fell into place, I think.
I would say that you bring in so much reliance with every project you star in, and your latest one being the Rocket Boys.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I have just started watching it. I'm yet to finish it.
Okay.
One can say that you have explored every genre of entertainment, and one can surely say that you have earned a separate fan base now. So as an actor, what's the best way to deal with that pressure and balance between the need of your fans and the kind of growth you require from yourself as an artist?
I don't really think about projects in terms of how they will be received because I really don't believe that's in my hands. I can work really hard and I can be terribly disappointed if it's not received well or if the show doesn't or the movie doesn't meet whatever my expectations were for the movie or for my part or, you know, all of those things. But I don't really think about an audience, you know, when I'm trying to do the scene. I'm just thinking about trying to do the best scene I can do with the material that I have. And I honestly don't believe that an actor can be much better than their material. I think we are taught to believe that the personality of the actor overpowers everything else, but I don't come from that school of acting. I come from the school of acting, which is you can't be better than your material. Material is the king. You know, it's the
Exactly.
you just have to be truthful. I don't have to make the material interesting. I just have to try to say it in a truthful manner. That's my actual job.
You don't have to do heavy lifting if the script is like good, you know.
Yeah, if the script is good, then I just need to truthfully go from beat to beat and the audience will receive all the information they need to receive. There's a great story of this Japanese theater actor who was the most famous actor at the time, you know, like beloved. People came to watch this one play that ran for many, 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 many years. And it was this play where he was dressed up as a woman for most of the play. And during one of the climactic scenes, he's facing a mirror. Audience is there. He's facing the mirror. He takes off all the makeup. For the first time you're seeing him, not as a woman, you know. And he turns to the audience. And everyone's like, look, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And everyone says that this turn, the power in the turn, just everyone would like, vroom, like felt this power emanating out of him all through the audience until the back. And a journalist, when he was much older, asked him, what were you thinking? What were you playing during that moment? And he's like, I'll tell you. He'd finish the last bit and he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He didn't have to do anything. It's the power of the script and the director who up until that point have created so much tension in the audience that just the turn does the job for him. That's brilliant. That's the kind of project I want to be part of.
Wow. You expressed it so beautifully. I mean,
Any Japanese directors out there, please, Jim is eager.
I'm eager to love.
okay. So, you know, Rahul, even today, the dating culture in India is not really considered as a taboo, but, you know, it's something of hesitance. So, you know, when, you know, going out and exploring and things like that. So, do you think a show like this can actually bridge that gap and encourage such conversations between parents and kids?
It's taboo for the parents, but I feel like people in our generation are definitely dating. The apps are there, even in like across the country. Mostly in cities, but also, you know, in other places in the country, there's people are finding love and going on dates and sneaking out of their house and, you know, doing the things that they would do for love.
Exactly.
And I think it's a sort of a eternal cycle of an older generation potentially being not as excited about what you're doing and then you having to break out of the shackles and do it anyway.
True.
So I feel like that will just always continue. I think 40 years from now, we will be questioning what our children are doing and why they're
Where
doing
you meet up in VR. You know how unsafe it is? Meet them in person.
You know, because the kind of relationship Ray shares with his parents, I mean, they are very much interested about his dating life and even the fact of mental health, ki nahi, if there's anything bugging you. But Indian parents are not that open about it. So I really hope that this show sort of bridges that gap.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ray's parents are, while they are obviously a bit, annoying in the way that they are asking their questions,
Too
they're
much
very
invested in him.
Yeah, they're very well-meaning though. I think that they have his best intentions, in every decision they take. So I think that parents should honestly, if as long as they're looking out for their kids, everything will be fine. But if they're looking out for their own interests, then they're likely to, disappoint their children sometimes.
All right then. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this with me.
Thank you.
I had a great time chatting with you, and I'm really looking forward to more such shows and more such seasons of such shows, I am in the 4th episode right now. I just hope the story gets better and
Netflix
better.
is right there. Just tell them. Season 2 banao abhi.
हाँ, please banao
वो एक साल में आएगा.
Wherever you see a Netflix tag, just keep asking.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.